sold those two properties,
Sold those
moved
two.
to Texas to start my medical device career.
Yeah.
Was there for a year, and then moved to Springfield, Missouri, and have been here about 14 years
Okay.
since.
All right. So then you go to Texas. You sell before you go to Texas, I'm guessing?
Sell before I go to Texas.
Right. Do you do anything in Texas that year?
No, we were only there for a year. I was focusing on my new job.
Yep.
And then did really well there. Was very blessed and had the opportunity to move back closer to home and moved up here to Springfield.
Awesome. Okay. So now you go there. You have so what year was the buy in Arkansas? Sorry, Duplex. Was that like 2000?
The Duplex, that was probably 2005, 4 or 5, something.
Okay,
like
that makes sense. I'm just getting the timing. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right. So then the crash happens. You're in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
You go. You admit you should have been buying hand over fist.
Yes.
Cautious, like many people were. And first point here is, I hear lots of people wishing for another crash because they're going to go all in. You know what? No, you're not. You're going to be scared because the world is ending and the financial markets are on tilt. You're gonna save. So that's
right.
Be careful what you wish for, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I do want to talk about that. You end up finding a bank-owned 16 unit.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people that bought bank-owned houses, but let's talk about a bank-owned 16 unit. What's the story there?
Yeah, so I started putting feelers out to different brokers and some bankers that I know. And a buddy of mine was president of a bank, and he just called me up and said, "Hey, realtor came by, asked me if I knew any investors that were looking for a property that was owned by a different bank, not his bank." And so he put me in touch with a realtor. Called the guy up, went out and looked at the property, and I said, "Well, I'll let you do a dual agency. I don't have a broker, so you can represent me as well." But so we looked at the property, and first thing he did was hand me a flyer. It was $780,000 for 16 units. They were nice units, about 5 years old.
Okay.
Fourplex townhouse style units.
Yep.
Two bedroom, 2.5 bath, fireplace, all that stuff. But out of 16 units, there were 2 occupied, and those 2 weren't even paying rent.
Oh,
so, yeah. So I'm like, wow, he hands me this flyer for $780,000. I'm like, hey, I hand it right back to him and say, that's a good, that's good to see, but that's not gonna get this deal done.
Yeah, zero income. Oh my God.
Yeah, and so he immediately says, "Oh, whoa! I've already been authorized by the bank to take $560."
Oh, look at that! You saved $220,000 just like that.
Yeah. But okay, well, I said we're getting closer at least. I said, he said they'd had another buyer that fell out at that price, so they were already authorized to do that. So I said, okay, well, now I'm interested at least walking the units and stuff. So walked a couple of units, and they were in rough condition. Even though they were relatively new, they had been just not been taken care of. So ended up meeting the property manager out there who was managing them for the bank. We walked every unit, kind of saw what was on the table there, went to the broker and said, okay, here's my offer. There's a lot of work to do, and I'm going to be floating this note myself until we get everything turned around and filled and rented and all that stuff. So I'll give you, you can tell the bank I'll give it $400,000.
Yeah.
And we'll get it done. So he just kind of scoffed at that. Oh my God, we've already
oh my gosh,
already come down from 780. I'm like, look, explain the situation. Said, take him the offer. So he did. So he comes back, and they were so generous. They dropped their price from $560 to $550. And then he hands me a rent roll for the 4 buildings next door, the 16 units next door, which they had a note on. And he hands me a rent roll. They're all full, $500 a month each, and I said, man, that is awesome. That tells me what this property can do, but it's not doing it now.
Yeah.
And I said, there's still a lot of work to do. So I said, look, here's the deal. I said, as you know, it's a hot market, a lot of deals out there right now. I'm looking at several other deals. I'm going to buy something.
Right.
And I'd like to buy this property, but I'll bump my offer to $50,000. $450 is my best offer. I need to know by 5 o'clock because I'm looking at 2 other deals specifically. I'm going to buy one of these 3, and I need to know something today.
Okay.
So he's like, he said, okay, I'll see what I can do. 2 hours later, I get a phone call, deal done.
Nice.
So I got the deal done, fixed the units up, rented them over the next, and stabilized them and increased rents over the next several years. And in 17, I sold that property for $775,000 or $780,000.
Very cool.
And 1031 that into the 55 unit.
There you go. So let's talk about that a little bit. So first off, banks don't make rash decisions all the time, right? I actually bought some apartment buildings directly from banks. They have they're not like normal sellers, right? They're not attached. They're just weird, right? So you just never know. Like one day it's a no, and like the next day it's a yes. It's bizarre. But was that 450 grand cash, 450 grand hard money, or how did you?
No, it was just a bank loan, commercial bank loan, community bank here that I'd been working with on on my flips, and which was interesting that as a first property that they were going to go ahead and loan me 80% plus construction costs.
Wow.
I just put down the 20%.
That's how, I mean, again, I shouldn't say this is not normal. That's not in my realm of experience. I've worked with lots of commercial banks, and maybe I just haven't asked, but that building was producing zero income, right? It had and yet they still found a way to loan. That just says the price you got it at. That's what that means.
Right. Yeah. It was a deal you couldn't refuse. And the banks knew, the potential there for the market. They saw the rent roll for the ones next door. They were full, and so same on the other side. I get there was 3 sets of 4 buildings each.
Right.
And I had the middle set of 16.
Okay.
And so, they saw the potential there.